2026. The time is now 4:00 p.m. This is the quarterly meeting of the New Smyrna Beach Fire Department Pension Board. Can I get a roll call, please?
Sure. Mike Lynn,
Present.
Randy Hartman,
Present.
Brandon Carroll, Matt Martini,
Present.
Jolene Joyce. We have a quorum.
Okay. First item on the agenda, public comment. About normal. Moving right along. Okay, do I have next on the approval of the minutes of the January 23rd, 2026 quarterly meeting? Did everyone have a chance to give those a little look?
I did. Of course, I wasn't here, but I did.
Okay, if I can get a motion to approve the minutes.
As stated, motion to approve?
Do I get a second?
Second.
All right, motion passes. Minutes are approved. Okay. New business, discussion of legal services. I believe we got Pedro Herrera here. From, I guess your new firm is Jones Walker LLP, and Mr. Robinson, David Robinson.
Yes.
From
Yeah, I'm going to just go over real quick the parameters. As you saw on the information flyers that they both sent, that basically you're going to have three options. You could stay, Sugarman Susskind is your attorney right now. There is no contract that says the amount of time you can hire or remove an attorney whenever you want. But the three options remain with Sugarman Susskind. David Robinson here is going to be your primary person if you stay with them. The other option is to move to Jones Walker, Pedro's firm, or the third option is to go out to an RFP. So I'll go ahead and open it up to David and let him address you, and you can have any questions to him, and then you can hear from Pedro after.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is David Robinson. I'm a partner at Sugarman & Susskind. I've been with the firm for 32 years. Went to Georgetown University Law Center and then came directly down to Florida and began practicing with Sugarman & Susskind. So in the public pension sector, I learned from Bob Sugarman, who's one of the founding attorneys in this field in Florida, and have practiced with him for my entire career, the 32 years. So you've received communication from our firm and from Pedro's firm that Pedro decided to leave Sugarman & Susskind. For us, that doesn't change anything in our relationship with you. We have, life goes on for us at Sugarman & Susskind, and we intend to and would like to continue to be your attorneys. We have a full house of qualified, experienced attorneys ready to serve you. As Troy mentioned, if you decide to stay with us, and we hope that you will, I'll be your main contact person. I'm familiar with your fund. I've been to a number of your meetings back in 2018, 2019, so I do have familiarity with the funds and with New Smyrna. I've always enjoyed coming up here. We have a team approach. We've always had a team approach at Sugarman & Susskind where, Pedro's been the person that you've seen at the meetings, but we all do all of the work in the background. So even though you haven't seen me in the last few years, I am, as I said, very familiar with your fund and with the hundreds of funds or more than 100 funds that we represent. We have three sort of main practice areas at Sugarman & Susskind. We have public pension practice, private pension practice, and public and private sector collective bargaining. I practice across all three of those practice areas. So I've devoted my entire career to protecting public sector workers and protecting the fiduciaries of the plans that those workers are participants in, and very, very proud of the work that I've done. And as I said, I've learned from Bob, who I consider to be the best. So Bob still is active, though not as active as he used to be. He still has a couple plans that he handles, but he's still very much present for us as a resource if we need him. So I know that Bob's always there for me. If I have any questions that I would like his input on, I can call Bob up and get a response from him. So that's certainly very valuable for us. Backing me up is Jose Javier Rodriguez, who is a former Florida Senator and former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Labor, very distinguished attorney. And also we have a young associate, Veronica Ucros, who's Cornell undergrad, Florida law school, very talented. She also is very much involved in the collective bargaining work as well, and in the public pension. The two go hand in hand, and so we're very excited about her as well. So we have a full house of attorneys ready to continue to make sure that the level of services that you've always had with us will continue. You've seen in our communications, we've offered a 25% fee reduction. That's very simply for the fact that the reason we know that you haven't seen me in these years, and we want to assure you that we wish to continue to serve you in the long term. So that gives you a sort of risk-free, cost-effective way to familiarize yourselves with me, to see that the level of services that you've always had with our firm will continue. That fee reduction will be in place for at least 2 years. There's no intention to raise it at the end of the 2 years. And of course, if at any time during those 2 years you felt in any way dissatisfied, you would have the right to go and seek other counsel. But we feel confident that you'll be happy with our services, and that's why we've offered the reductions. So you'll have a chance to see for yourselves. I think that's it. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them.
Ms. Harmon?
No question. Yeah, default attendance would be also through Zoom or online versus in person?
I prefer in person.
Okay.
I really like to be here in person. So mostly it would be in person for me, unless I have a conflict. But I prefer to be present in person.
Okay.
Other questions? Perfect. Pedro?
Pedro?
Good afternoon. Just formally for the record, Pedro Herrera. It's good to see everybody in person. So just, I think you guys are obviously familiar with myself, but I've been your attorney now for well over a decade at this point. And my practice for the past 22 years has been solely dedicated to public pensions here in Florida. I was lucky enough to be mentored by Bob Sugarman. I was going to meetings with him when I first joined the firm. In about 15 years or so, he decided to kind of turn over the public pension plan practice to me. And since that time, I've been fortunate enough to not only sustain the 20 or so clients that we had when I joined, but grow the practice substantially to where it was when I left about 2 months ago, just about over 100 plans. Myself and Madison Levine, who was an associate with me at our prior firm, we were really the only two that dedicated solely to public pensions. We were both responsible for attending all of our public pension plan client meetings, and we were responsible for, I would say, about 99% of the work, and to that end, nothing really left the office without my review and my blessing. And so, I know you guys have seen me at the conferences, but there's a reason why, I've been fortunate enough to be a speaker at the FPPTA for these many years, leading the disabilities. There's a reason why, amongst our plans, I'm the one who would do the majority or handle the majority of myself, and not even Madison, I believe, if I recall. We're the ones who would handle all of the administrative hearings for our clients. We're the ones who, if there was a forfeiture, we were hired by other plans as special counsel, and they would request myself to handle those on their behalf. There's a reason the state puts on a conference each year. The Division of Retirement, they only invite 2 attorneys. I'm fortunate enough to be one of those attorneys, and so I've dedicated my life to public pension plans, and ultimately the participants and beneficiaries of those plans. I've been here, I've been traveling to all the meetings, traveling to conferences, you guys have my cell phones and answering text messages and calls on the weekends and so on and so forth, and I'm happy to do that. I think the firm that I did join and the reasons why I left my prior firm, I think probably aren't as important to you all, but essentially it just came down to, I think, just a lack of resources for our practice group. You heard that we did have 3 practice areas, and so, myself and Madison were, again, as I mentioned, we were really responsible for that third arm, that public pension practice arm. David has been practicing for 31 years, and he's a partner now, but, there's a reason why he was effectively a part-time attorney for our firm for greater than 20 of those years, right? He was living over in Europe and had an immigration practice, and he would supplement his work with work that we would send him. And of the work that we would send him, public pension plan was probably not that much. You heard Jose Javier Rodriguez, wonderful attorney as well, although he has very little to no experience with public pensions. And Veronica Ucros, by her own words, I would have loved to have brought her along. I think she's a wonderful attorney, but she's a labor attorney, and she wants to be a labor attorney, and she left her prior firm to join my prior firm to be a labor attorney. I made this joke at the other meeting, but I wish I would have known I had all these resources available to me before I left, and maybe it would have been different, right? I was there for 22 years. My name was on the door. The plan certainly wasn't for me to leave, but I think it just got to the point where there was a difference in terms of my former partners were, Bob Sugarman, Howard Suskind. They're almost 80. I don't want to say their age wrong, but they're close to 80 and effectively retired at this point. And so I think there was just a difference in terms of how to allocate resources. Our practice group needed more resources, frankly. And that was ultimately the reason why I joined this firm, Jones Walker. It's a national firm, over 300 attorneys, 30 offices, and really provides myself and Madison. We just hired an associate. He was going to come and join us, probably come on board in the next 2 weeks. He just accepted his offer on Monday. And so I think it's just something where we needed help. We needed support to ultimately serve our clients in a more efficient manner. And this firm really kind of provides that to us in spades. And they've, although they're not new to the public sector pension world, they've represented they still represent statewide pension plans as fiduciary counsel, as investment counsel. They've kind of allowed me really carte blanche to kind of build the Florida public pension plan market. And so, to that end, I've been fortunate enough. We've met with about 52, 53, 54, something like that, former clients of mine, and we've been lucky enough to have about 48 or so have transitioned over, and in the next month or so we'll be meeting with the rest of them and having this similar discussion with those boards. But frankly, from my perspective, the firm that I'm at now, I think it just really offers me the opportunity to continue serving my clients, continue attending meetings. But I have the support and the backup to really kind of prove a little bit more efficient in our delivery of all kinds of work products, not only opinion letters and things like that, ordinance amendments, right? But I think more so in terms of providing, special reports. That was something that, we wanted to do and unfortunately weren't able to do and kind of fell by the wayside, right? I mentioned at the prior meeting, it's something where, we'd like to be able to provide educational seminars for our trustees. And I was talking about it with Heather, not specifically for you all, because you guys deal with this on a day-to-day basis, but more so maybe for your members, right? And it's something we can get Scott, we can get Troy, we can get our actuary to all kind of come in, and it's difficult for trustees to get out to these conferences, but put something on in-house, we could sponsor that and just give us a room, right, so to speak, and put something on that I think allows the members a little bit of an opportunity to learn more about the pension, learn more about how it's funded, learn, kind of what it is, what it means, what they can do for it, right? And the stakeholders, obviously, city council members, union officials, right? So everybody gets a little bit more education in terms of what the pension is, how it's funded, and how it operates. And that's something that, I think now I'm able to offer to my clients, whereas before it was something that, was kind of few and far between, and something I think is valuable. So just as an example in terms of what I think a little bit more additional resources can provide. Again, I would love to continue the relationship with this board. I understand that there's my prior firm has offered a significant fee discount, and that's obviously, that's their prerogative. I think to a certain extent, part of me wants to say, you get what you pay for. But to that end, frankly, I've never lost a client over fees. I've been with you guys for a long time. I value the relationship, and so I don't have any problems meeting the same discount or agreeing to another fee that you guys may feel more comfortable with. My firm, again, they're supporting myself and Madison and the practice group, and so fees would not be an issue from my perspective. And so any questions that you may have, I'm happy to address. Comments, concerns, whatever you have.
Are you, your home base is gonna be the Miami office? Or-
Home base is Miami office. Yeah, my wife and my kids would kill me if I moved at this point.
Didn't want to assume though.
But yeah, home base is still Miami. And, I think, historically, we've attended virtually, really just as a means of kind of saving the plan a little bit of money, saving the fees. But if you guys want me here in person, I'm happy to be here in person. We have a lot of plans here in Volusia County, and so it's not an issue, and happy to be here.
Yeah, that was gonna be my same question that I asked Mr. Robinson, I didn't know if the way you attended was being dictated by the firm, or if it was carte blanche.
It was dictated by the firm, I think, in certain respects, because again, we were spread pretty thin.
Right.
And so, between myself and Madison, really covering all of the meetings, it was posing a bit of a difficulty. And so that was, again, kind of going back to one of the reasons where it was becoming untenable was, the fact that I didn't see anything changing, despite, kind of a lot of conversations being had over the years. And so, while I appreciate now that the firm has taken a different stance, now that Madison and I have left, unfortunately that wasn't the case, 2 months ago. Now, with less of a workload, I would say, I was, my name was on the door, being one of the named partners at the firm. Not only was I in charge of kind of the legal side, but for many of you, as you know, a lot of the administrative side of just operating the firm, which I no longer have to do, which frees up a lot more time than I originally thought that it did. And so, to answer your question, I think appearance by virtually, I think it helps not only you guys, certainly helps me, but it not only helps in terms of kind of keeping costs down, but not a problem coming to your meetings in person if that's what you guys would prefer. No problems at all.
Okay. And how long has Madison and you've been working?
So Madison's been with, she's been with us for 8 years now.
Okay.
And she's only been,
The whole
again,
time assigned.
public pension. That's been exclusively her practice area. Again, as opposed to many of the other attorneys who remain at the firm, the 3 or 4 that are there. Obviously you could ask David, but I would say if their workload, you could ask them what their practice areas would look like. But as the one who managed and kind of ran that side of the firm for the last 15 years, I can assure you that was the case.
Yeah, I think most of us in the firm do work across our several practice areas, all 3 of them. Pedro didn't. I'm afraid that was his decision. I've enjoyed working across all three of our practice areas, and as I said, I think it's given me a complete view on each practice area. So that was just my choice.
Sure.
I do want to just address it. Yes, I spent several years in Europe, but still working full time for the firm. My daughter grew up in Europe, so that's why I was there. She's in college now, and I'm back here full time. I've been back here full time since August, and I'm going to be here full time. So we don't have any clients in Europe. So the fact that Sugarman and Susskind continue to have me on working for them full time from Europe, I think says something about how much they value the services that I have to offer for the firm.
And when it comes to this, as far as the way that it was set up before, you guys can set it up how you want. If it was to save money, which a lot of my firms do, is the reason that Pedro was virtual. You guys are kind of creating this, so the contract is probably going to change either way, whether it's stay with Sugarman or you move to Pedro. So in your discussion, you can kind of tailor what it is that you think is best. So I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, I just was curious what the dynamic was, if those were, money saving,
It's generally a cost saving,
fiduciary,
right.
or money-related issues or.
I think it started with the COVID thing, and we just kind of went into it from that point on, yeah.
That's happened with a lot, yeah.
As did
And
every.
that happened with, I mean, I think that was kind of the trigger, the impetus for many of the clients when they realized like, hey, it's not bad,
Yes,
Zoom meetings.
big things are big things, but most of it's pretty routine.
So anything else for Pedro? Go ahead.
So we currently have a contract with Sugarman.
Yes.
What's the expiration date? on it?
No expiration.
No
date.
expiration date. Okay.
You can change attorneys at any point, just in case you were getting something that you didn't think was adequate service. The board's not tied.
Okay.
The board needs to make a fiduciary decision to have the best counsel possible.
Are we held
Whenever
to?
we drafted your agreements, whenever I always kind of put in, your vendors have to give you 60 days notice, you have to give them 30 days notice, except for mine, for our attorney, which probably shot myself in the foot, but the thought was, if you don't trust your attorney, if you don't like your attorney, you shouldn't have to keep them for a certain amount of time, so.
So there is no 30-day,
No.
okay.
Now, for everybody else, for your other providers, there is, but not for your attorney.
Okay.
So at this point,
If
you can
care
ask
to
more questions.
deliberate, we're happy, or I'm happy to step out voluntarily so that you can, if you.
Yeah, can you give us a couple of minutes, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Phil has to turn the speakers off in the lobby.
Oh, they got speakers out there? I'm glad you knew that.
That's funny.
Sam will come over there.
So yeah, this is where you guys get to just kind of talk this through, and it's a decision that's important. So
Yeah, do we have any of the costs, the financials on each one of those, as far as,
So other than the standard fee that you've been paying,
right,
you would be paying 25% less if
Okay.
you went with Sugarman. If you decide to negotiate with Pedro, that's up to you. You can do whatever you want to as far as that goes. But at this point, the only thing on the table, the only offer is the 25% has already been offered. Pedro's offered to negotiate with you.
Negotiate and match.
So
Right.
you guys
He said
can,
negotiate, and I think he said
Right.
negotiate and match when he was up there.
Right.
That was the key word, was the match.
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, institutional knowledge is a big, that's a
Big time.
big giant part of it. We still have some disability things with Jeremy out that could become issues.
Amongst others.
And some other bigger items, the secondary, disability that we gave, those things can still come back. I don't know how that all works. I do like the sound of the structure a little bit more, if you take for face value what Pedro's
Same.
described, to be in charge of that, handle the administrative side and the pension side. He's done a good job. I've never known him to not be accessible or,
That's
able
my
to-
thing. I've never had a problem getting in touch with him whenever I need to get in touch with him. They're both familiar with our plan, but I just want,
Right.
I think he was the one who had our plan. If he had all the other plans, then it does make a little bit more.
So I was on the police pension board for 4 years. And at that time, David Robinson was the attorney for both police and fire.
Yes, that was back in 2016, yeah, I was on the fire board.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, he's,
Him and Bob Sugarman.
yeah,
Yes.
so there's that familiarity with them too.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, I think, I've not been on this board long enough, but I know that, in my department, we've had the board as well, Sugarman, that's a big name, it carries a lot of
Yes.
clout, but as that starts to transition out to not be the case, he's not always gonna be a resource that they're gonna be able to pull on. And what does the rest of that firm look like, and what's their succession plan? Who's gonna be top partner, what's gonna happen between, those, and Mr. Susskind too,
So do you know what police did?
I do.
Can you share that?
Sure. I mean, if you're asking me, they deferred because they only had 3 members present.
Okay,
Now, unfortunately, they've had 3 members, 3 meetings in a row, so I can't keep kicking things down the road, but
right,
that was their thought, is that they would go ahead and defer and ask for Pedro to come back again to present at the next quarter.
gotcha.
So that is,
So if you're able to advise the letter that we got from Sugarman and Susskind with the options and the elections down at the
yeah,
bottom.
I have it here. So
Would that
if you
have
make-
been, binding if we didn't do it in a public forum?
No, yeah, unless you change, right now, you're staying with Sugarman Susskind until you vote to do something different. So they're still with Sugarman.
Right, but under that, on the bottom there, it was, you gonna go with Pedro, you gonna stay with us?
We're just
or
not
you-
signing it. Yeah, because we're deferring it, we're not gonna address, I didn't have them sign it.
But that would, if we wouldn't have been able to make an election unless we were in a
No,
public
you can.
forum. Oh,
You-
okay.
You did- you have a quorum. So-
No, in
Oh.
a public forum, we wouldn't have been able to just, oh, hey, Mike as chairman signs it.
No,
It
no.
It wouldn't have been a binding
Yeah,
thing.
it would be either a motion to
So we need a
approve
motion to-
staying with Sugarman Susskind at the reduced rate, or a motion to move to Jones Walker, Pedro Herrera's new firm.
Or a
And
motion
then
to defer?
Then it's just a matter of, I'm sorry, say it
Can we
again?
make a motion to defer?
You can. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever, it's your board. You can,
Can we, if you're able, can we place a conditional motion? In other words, if we were to decide, if someone makes a motion to go with Pedro, barring negotiations or discussions, fee negotiations or discussions?
I can bring either one of the attorneys back in, and you could discuss exactly, if you wanted to discuss fee.
The way that I'm grasping everything, and the way that I like the fact is, none of this is binding. I mean, so if we aren't happy with fees, we're not happy with service,
Right.
we can change it any time
Absolutely.
and go back.
100%.
It's not the fact that we're stuck with them for 2-3 years
Gotcha.
under
Okay.
contract.
I understand.
So if we do decide, if this board decides to go with Pedro and we say we want to negotiate fees with him, if he's not willing to do that, then we're,
Right.
we can come back and decide,
Yes.
okay, it's not for us in the next meeting.
Absolutely.
We can move back to wherever we want to, or we can look at an outside source.
Right.
I mean,
Right, yeah,
but,
I can go out and ask either one of them to come back in if you'd like me to, or we can,
Why don't we ask Pedro about the fees? See what he says now.
Yeah, we can.
I'll be asking him to come back in.
Ask him to come back in, see what he says.
Okay.
Just ask Pedro, because I heard up to and matching, so.
I just wish we had that number,
It's like, I mean, I know it's the hourly,
Right.
it's like $4.95 an hour is what I see on the invoices that they charge.
Right.
So it's, I'm not sure if there's a, I mean, I think that's all we're paying is the fees for
Right.
that. I don't think we pay another retainer fee.
The due diligence, for the.
The only other
be
cost would be
responsible
the
for fund,
travel,
Just
The travel would give.
travel, the meal or whatever.
Correct.
And that's why it's
Per diem.
important to try to get both boards,
Right.
because it reduced
Right.
the.
And we may not always need it,
Travel.
but
Yes.
it's just nice to know
That
that's
is-
available.
So Pedro, we just had a question about fees. So when you just, a minute ago when you were talking, you said you would match or up to a match, negotiate. I just wanted to get a clarification on that before we were, while we were discussing this.
I said I would match it. I left you guys a little bit of room in case you don't want me to go that low, but but I get it. I understand. It's again. Don't quote me on this, and maybe we could turn the mics off. I'm not in it for the money. There's a lot of other areas of law where I could probably make a lot more money, and so I value the relationship. I've been doing this for 22 years. This is all that I want to do, and so yeah. I mean, I'm happy to match the discount that was offered by my prior firm.
Okay,
All right, we were just curious.
we were just curious, thank you.
Yeah.
We've all,
None of us are gonna take what we're worth.
No, none of us,
I'll
especially
keep that
the
on
retired guy.
yeah, right?
Hey, as fiduciaries, I would do the same thing. I get
Okay.
it. That's all right. I understand.
Yep, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments? Any
Yeah, just, that was only, right, thank you. So, I get what you're saying about the deferring because the PD did. I don't know their schedule when they come up here. Do they try to meet with a number of departments at the same time?
Who are you talking?
The lawyers, like anybody who comes up here, like, Scott comes up here, is he meeting with 2 or 3 different
Yeah,
departments at
so
the same
a
time?
lot of my plans, I have 19 plans.
Right.
And a lot of them, what they'll do is they will try to, over the years before I even got here, the concept was to try to group meetings, and work things around to where they're in a region. So they can stay overnight, at a hotel and work 4 or 5 meetings. So that's what Pedro does for Nadina Beach.
Right, that's what I thought they did.
So that's kind of the goal, especially if you're not central. I think Scott's central. So he's like in the Orlando area, so he's like kind of in a really good spot.
Right,
So
yeah.
I was just kind of, well, that's what I thought they did, but I just, because, I think, the funny part would be if the cops are waiting to see what we do.
Oh, really?
I said, what if they are? Because they're.
They just happen to
they're
have
the same-
three
they're the
like
same-
you.
Yeah, the same boat, they're just kind of wondering, maybe.
Well, my thing was too, is that they also had 3 senior people that have been on the board and been on boards for a long time. So if there was, newer, somebody, I could get that, but we keep having a problem getting more than 3. Just life happens, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
things happen. We can only kick things down the road so far, but for one meeting, that's not a big deal. I would just say that, we would really want to try to make a formal decision, because the building is gonna stay as is
Right.
until a formal, so as of May 1st, if we don't make a decision here, it's still gonna be the same building, because you haven't formally agreed to that other contract.
Right.
So
And
either
the
way, a new
terms- the
contract's
terms
gonna
of
be
that discount
drafted.
For 2 years, so,
Yeah.
I mean, that gives us time as well too, but I don't think we have anything too giant. in front of us.
Nothing this week.
But you never know.
Yes,
Yeah.
the day is
Never
still
know what's
early.
happening.
As Soon as you say there's nothing pending.
Yeah, I know.
I'll get a phone call
Want to
tomorrow.
take it back. I almost feel like retracting my statements.
So in their discussion to defer, were they deferring to the next meeting, or did they?
Yes,
Or,
they
I mean,
weren't making a decision, they were deferring that decision to the next meeting.
could we not just have a special joint meeting between police and fire pension boards to discuss
You can,
attorneys?
it's just a lot of work to put it together, but I've done it with 4 boards. So I have 8 or 9 plans with Pedro, and so I've had to do 3 special meetings. So it's a lot of work,
Right.
but I've made it work.
My only concern is that our needs and desires may not be aligned in the sense of some of that stuff. They may not take that institutional knowledge as importantly as some others. Now, if they're senior guys, they should, right? Because that, once everybody leaves, it remembers how it should have been, then, or was, then, you miss that and lose that without somebody going back. If I'm just thinking out loud, as part of this discussion, if we're certain that our ideals and what's important to us lines up with PD, that's one thing, but if we got some different opinions, then that may not be something. They may choose to stay with Susquehanna, and then if that's not what we're really feeling as a board, I don't wanna be obligated to that if we end up merging those together. If we merge them together, it would still be separate votes, right?
Yes.
For each of the boards? Yeah.
Even if you're, my fee, you get a discount because I'm doing 2 meetings at once. So you're splitting my small travel time. I live in LPGA.
Right.
And then I get a $12 meal or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like my fee's gonna stay the same as far as, if you guys switch to a different, nothing would change as far, especially if you wanted to have them Zoom, like Pedro's already doing.
Right.
Travel doesn't matter where they're coming from. You're not paying, paying for travel time, or food or anything like that if they're Zooming. So some plans do, and I thought that might have been why, but I guess it was because of COVID.
It just started out that way and just kind of morphed
Okay.
into it going into
And I
that,
have
which was
several that
great.
Pedro does the same thing, and at the request of, you know, I can always reach out to chairman and any time that he Zooms. If there's a need, all I do is send a message to the chairman, hey, I feel like this is an important topic that we have to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I invite Pedro? Because I think having him in person is better for the board.
Right.
And that's how I do it.
Sure.
That's the right way to do it, is that if I feel like it's a topic that's really needs to be hashed out, you know, and it's important, I'll reach out and ask the chair. The chair can deny it, say, no, he's good,
Right.
assuming.
Yeah.
But I will reach out and make that request if I feel it's
Okay.
that type
Yeah.
of topic.
And we do the same with Foster and Foster if we feel like Patrick would
Yep.
serve us better here, you know.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
So, I guess the question is, do we want to make the decision now? Or did you want to hold off and see what was going on down the pike?
I don't have a problem making a decision of voting.
Okay, well, I'm just asking, because
Yeah.
I just want to make
I
sure.
will let you know, I would prefer to stay with Sugarman, you know. And since we don't have a cancellation clause, if it doesn't work out, you know, in the next meeting or so, then certainly we can go back out, but, David was always a tenant before and always had, you know,
Mhm.
so
There you
I haven't had that much dealings with Pedro, so.
Yeah, that's
Any-
kind of difficult because they have.
go. Yeah, same,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
Pedro's been with us, I mean, he's been with us since
And,
2008.
you know, he kind of sounded like sour grapes, and I'm not a big fan of the sour grapes
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
approach, so. It
Yeah.
was his decision to leave, not ours, so.
Right.
That's where I am.
Okay.
Well, I'm on the other end of the spectrum, so
So you're
I'm
gonna be.
the tiebreaker.
Yeah,
I'll throw it out there. I don't want to be the third one.
Right.
That's
Now,
why,
do you want
and
to
that's
start?
okay.
that's why you're the big,
No,
that's why you're
I-
the big cheese.
Right, that's okay. I mean, somebody can make a motion. If there's not a second, then there's not a second. Then we would go on. If somebody else wanted to make another motion, we would go on. You know, so that's how it would work, or we defer it. So it's up to you guys.
No, let's
If
make
you
it, let's
wanna-
make a decision.
If you want to make a motion and see where it goes, we can do that.
Let's see where it goes. Let's make a decision today. If we've got one down, it'll be a game day decision.
All
All right, I think we're ready.
Good. Somebody make a motion.
I'll go ahead. I'm not afraid of rejection. I will make a motion to continue our service, or switch our services with the move of Pedro Herrera over to Jones and Walker LLC, with discussions to the matching 25% reduction in fees.
Perfect. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, so we have a 2-1. So the motion's going to pass to move to Jones Walker and Pedro Herrera. All right, so give me just 1 minute to get this clarified, to put the language in. Okay.
Was Patrick, last meeting, was Patrick on Zoom? Did he pipe in or was he here?
Okay, I can go out and let them know, and then we can move on.
Okay.
Okay, so I will have Pedro come back. So here's how this would work. It's actually kind of worked out well. The billing has already been done, or is going to be done for this month. So Pedro's billing would start tomorrow, May 1st. That's approved? Okay, so that's how I'm gonna rate this. Just it's easy to give the full
Yeah.
month and then move on and start with the next month.
And that's made it simple.
Yeah.
I don't remember Patrick being here last meeting.
Well, it just says he discussed some smoothing methods and some other stuff in the meetings.
I think that was virtual.
Okay.
Patrick,
Yeah.
Was he here?
Patrick was here.
Okay, he was here, okay.
Scott, were you here last meeting or were you Zoom?
I was here.
In person?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
No, it was a couple meetings ago you were there. Yeah, Patrick was here. He was talking about, yeah, because we did the, what's it called?
Evaluation report and stuff?
Evaluation
Yeah,
report assessment,
okay.
yes.
Yes.
Because I just got the copy of that not too long ago.
In the meeting before that, I think it was like a 5-minute deal. I mean,
But you were sick in one of them. You were sick at, I think that was when the 5-minute one you were sick at.
or maybe that's what it was.
He's always been at all mine.
With him?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
but I
with
miss
the flu.
him. I miss him. When I'm on duty, I can't, I try.
Mr. Robinson, thank you for everything.
never-
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Present to you, I appreciate it, thank you.
Good seeing you again, and sorry not to anymore.
So, yeah, so we did the whole smoothing conference. Yes, he was here, yeah.
Okay.
I have a hard time remembering what I had for lunch.
It was probably up at the top when it says
My
who was here,
brain's
but
going 1,000 miles an hour every day.
Did your tablets go off or are they all good?
No, we're still on
No,
All
those.
they're
set?
good.
Okay, yeah, just make sure.
yeah. Oh, no, this says he was via Teams. And the minutes.
There's something in here.
So we're pretty sure Patrick was present last meeting. in
Yeah, so
person.
I'm gonna switch that.
Okay,
Yeah.
he was here.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I didn't think he was, but, Randy's pretty sure, so he might have been, so I could have gotten him, I have Sebastian the same week, and he zoomed for one of them, I may
Okay.
have got it wrong. So I've already put in my notes to change that.
Okay.
This is what's killing me.
I mean, I'm sure it could come up, but normally when he's talking about actuary evaluations, he likes to be here.
Yeah, so I thought that was the meeting where he discussed the supplement, but that might have been the meeting before.
Gotcha.
So I may have got that
Yeah.
wrong.
Okay.
So your billing starts today,
I
or?
just want to say thank you. No.
So,
I mean, if you wanted,
This one's pro bono. This one's good.
if you wanted to, I'm happy to
He's always
oblige.
willing to take a fee.
9-hour meeting, let's iron it out.
I'm off tomorrow, man. I'm off tomorrow.
so Pedro, for
No, but thank you. I appreciate you guys. I know the last thing you wanted to do was hear from not only one but two attorneys, but I appreciate the vote of confidence.
And Pedro, we went ahead and made the motion to start billing for your Jones Walker on May 1st.
Yeah,
Okay.
I understand.
So we're gonna just let them finish through the,
Today was I
On
was
the-
not,
on the house?
I was not planning on billing for today.
okay. All right, so then that's how I have it written, and they did ask for at the 25% discount. Okay, we are,
Moving forward?
you're up.
Okay, Scott. Sorry to keep you waiting.
No. So it's good news right this moment. I'm going to be reporting on March 31st, which was not good news. So it's,
I think page 8 is where his starts on the tablet.
Thank you.
and we're going to, and you have the summary, the executive summary on page 8. Is that what you have? All right, perfect. I'm going to talk a little bit about the market and economy. If you remember, it was almost exactly a year ago when we were going through the exact same thing. The market was down 20 or 30%. We had Liberation Day. The president was talking about taxing the world, and the world was coming to an end, and the bottom fell out. And I said then, and I'm going to say the exact same thing now, is I think the market's going to be higher a year from now than it is now, but it's going to be a very bumpy ride. And so last year, last fiscal year was good. It was very good. The market, if we take a look, and you don't have to because I'm just looking through my report. The 1 year number for equities is in the mid-teens, right? So who would have thought that when we were down 20 or 30% in March and April? Well, then, things were going great. And then we had this year, and we had Venezuela with Maduro. And then we have a war in Iran, and then the market started. I think it's up like 700 points today. And it baffles me how it could be down 400 yesterday and upset. Like, what happened? And it's just it's the noise in the market. But I say all that because I think the same rule applies. I think it's going to be higher a year from now than it is today, but it's going to be a very bumpy ride. If you think about the market versus the economy, so the market is the stock market. That's prices. the economy is the engine, right? And so the engine looks great. We have low interest rates, we have full employment, we have relatively low inflation. Things are pretty good, you know, it's nothing really bad, it's all green lights, but we have a lot of geopolitical issues. So depending on, you know, if news comes out tomorrow that this is gonna be an extended war in Iran and we run out of oil, and then the market's gonna fall. If it comes out tomorrow that, hey, this thing's over, we've got an agreement that's palatable, then the market's gonna take off. So there's some, you have that issue, and that's, I just can't handicap that. I don't know what's going on there. But I do think a year from now, it's gonna be better off than we are today. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and kind of spill the candy in the lobby. Since the fiscal year, we're up 4.5%. So that's right in target with what our target is, right? So if we just keep doing, with all of this volatility, with the negative quarter, we're still up 4.5% for the fiscal year, and we've got till September 30th to get there. So if we just keep doing the same thing that we're doing now, we're gonna reach our goal again. So that's all good news. I jinxed myself last quarter. So last quarter I said everything was doing great. Domestic equities, international equities, bonds, everything's doing great. Well, this quarter, it's the opposite. Everything's doing bad. Domestic equities, international equities, and bonds, everything's negative, especially in the growth space. So think about, the Mag 7 and everything in the growth space has been very, very negative. As a matter of fact, the large cap growth space, the benchmark's down about 10% for the quarter, right? Yeah, so that's a big hit, and all the growth is down. If we take a look at the executive summary, which is, it's this page. Are you guys seeing this? Mm-hmm. Everything looks great over the long term, right? If you take a look at all that green all the way on the right, that's your risk-adjusted return. That means when you take risk into account, you're beating your benchmark. You're either beating it on risk or return or both. So then you look at the other two columns. If they're both green, that means you're beating them on everything. You're beating your benchmark on risk and return. Where you see the two yellows, the second one down, that's your passive option. That's always going to be like that. It's always going to be yellow and it's always going to be red, because what that does is it replicates the benchmark, and then there's some internal fees. Every now and then you might get a little bit different return, sometimes a little higher, but over the long term, you're going to have a negative alpha with lower return, with the same risk. So that's always going to be the case. And then UBS is the real estate, and we know what happened with real estate. We've talked about that an awful lot. I do think that real estate's kind of at the bleeding has stopped. When we talk about all of the different real estate managers, it's not UBS. They think that, okay, it's now, we've kind of hit bottom and we're going to go up from here. So if we take a look at if we turn the next page, you can see the returns in UBS for the quarter, up 1%, which is about their income, right? So they pay about 4 or 5% in income. So that means what was killing them was the valuations were going down. Well, if you're getting 1%, that means the valuations are stable and you're receiving your income. I can keep going. I have lots of charts and data and stuff, but I know the board, I know Mr. Freaky had asked for this kind of executive summary and wanted me to keep it as concise as this. But I will say that this quarter, there's been a huge dispersion between manager returns and benchmark returns. A lot of the managers underperformed across a lot of asset classes, especially in the small and mid-cap space. Big differences. I like this because this shows you even with those big differences, they're still winning. Your active managers are still winning. You say, well, what happened this quarter? A couple things. If you take a look at the SMID benchmark, that's small and mid, 50% of the constituents are losing money. If you take in that benchmark, 21 of 25 of the top performers are losing money. Well, your managers aren't going to own companies that are losing money. So if the thing that's losing money went up and they're underweight that or don't have that, and 21 of 25 of the top performers, that's where they are, then they're just going to fall behind. And you say, well, Scott, why in the world would someone buy a company that's losing money? Well, in the small and mid-cap space, those are the companies that they're the ones that reinvest in themselves. So any money they make, they just put it right back in. And where that really took off, so you got two things working against you. You got, again, your managers are gonna buy companies that are making money. But what really took off are companies that are AI and AI adjacent. So if you think about Palantir or AppLovin or some of those companies that used to be small and mid and were doubling and tripling in size every year, now they're large and mega caps. Well, the market participants are looking for that next home run. So they were just buying stuff if it was in the AI space, if it was chips, if it was tech centers, if it was mining companies for rare earth metals. Those were, but there's going to be a lot of losers there. And what your managers try to do, this is a closed pension plan. So where your managers try to do is they say, look, we want to buy companies that have earnings growth of X. And what's irrefutable is if you have earnings or profit growth of 10%, then you would expect your price to go up 10% plus some premium. So that's what they're trying to do. They're not going to try to find the next home run or the next, they're not going to, none of the we have managers that do that. None of the managers you have are going to try to do that. They're looking for solid, stable companies so that we can get our 7.5%, 8% a year every year. That's the target. And that's with a fixed income allocation. So you think about 10% in equities, 5% in stocks, that's going to give you about, 8% overall. And that's what we're right on target for.
So I think at the last meeting, we rebalanced the small and the international.
Yep,
And
that's right.
that was done then, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. So,
Okay.
we rebalanced, the mid, SMID, international value and international growth to target.
Okay.
That's exactly right. And I'll tell you the exact date. That was done on January 27th.
Okay.
Good memory. Did you write that down or did you remember that?
For my own, I remembered it. We're in trouble then.
Yeah.
For my own, just education, where were we in that? Were we too high or too low to make that adjustment when we made those adjustments?
We were low and we kind of
Just,
added to them a little bit, yeah.
okay.
Right.
All right.
Right. And so right now, as, I can tell you on the update page, not just this report. So right now, you're a little tiny bit overweight large cap,
Yeah.
right? Your target for equities is 60%, you're at 65.9, and basically that's 5% overweight, all of that's in your large cap space, okay? Everything else is within 0.25% or even 15 basis points. And in and because you're overweight equities, that means you're underweight fixed income. And if we take a look at your updates, your fixed income's got about 1.5%, and your equities are roughly about 7%. So being underweight fixed and overweight equities has been a good allocation decision. Your best returner is international value and large cap value.
Good news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Little bit.
if I reported on just this quarter, it'd be kind of bad. But the market's recovered really nicely. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna look at something real quick.
We'll see what happens next meeting.
Yeah. So you were at 30 million and change as of March 31st, and you're at 32 million and change right now. I mean, this is why I don't panic when something happens in the market, because it can turn on you in a dime. And what I always try to say is, listen, you get managers, each manager has a job to do. Some of them are to mitigate risk, some of them are to enhance return. As long as they're doing their job, we can't panic if something happens in the market. We take a look at the long term and try to make smart tactical decisions, but don't get too tuned up if
Right.
something goes south.
That's what my wife tells me. Just let it sit there.
So comparing that all the way back to December 31st, we're up about 1,900,000, somewhere in there, give or take. We were
Yeah.
about 31,700 on December 31st.
And we're at almost 32.7, 32.69 right now.
Okay, so another mill, almost a mill.
Yeah. And this does, I mean, again, I don't like to talk about, well, the market's up today too, but
Right.
it's this is when I said it's kind of chunky, and it cannot be demonstrated more clearly than this. 3 weeks difference makes over $1 million difference. That's what I mean. It's going to be real lumpy, and we're going to get that. I think at the end of the year, all that's going to pan out, and we'll achieve our goal again. And we're in compliance everywhere. There's nothing out of compliance. We're right on top of our targets, with the exception of slight overweights and large cap.
Right.
We're right on top of our targets everywhere.
Good.
I like the sound of that.
Are you all still, do you like this format, or you like the other format with the charts and graphs?
I personally like this one.
Okay.
This one's nice. And then if we have any questions about what some of that means, being able to go down to the other parts is.
It's only my second meeting.
Yeah, so-
We used to have, Mr. Fick, whenever he was on the board, Kim
Yeah.
wanted this, and I like this better also. Kind of just gives you a broader picture of what's going on, and getting into all the other graphs and stuff, I'm like, it's gonna be a little overwhelming for those of us not in finance.
Yeah,
The thing I like about the only thing, or the big thing I like about the graphs is better than the numbers, is when you look at that chart and you know where you are, you're like, okay, I'm winning.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's the numbers, you got to kind of decipher it a little bit. That's why I like to color code it. You know, you can say, look, it's all green. Everything's good. So
I like it.
I'm a fan of, if it's not broke, let's not fix it. And we're doing really well right now.
Sounds good to me.
yeah.
Does Robbie have any
And we have enough protection right now in the short term. If something should turn super south, then
Should be.
our
Yes,
damage
sir,
would be limited
we have
enough
30%
to be
fixed
able to-
income.
yeah,
Yep.
so,
We should be,
Yep.
hopefully.
good stuff.
Yep, and we have about 2% in cash, so that's, if the market falls tomorrow, we still have enough money in cash to pay all our bills, so we don't have to sell anything to raise cash. And we're getting 3.5% on cash.
Right. And that was a position we changed over to probably, 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, that's
around there.
Real estate thing, yeah.
Yeah, our target's 0 for cash, but
Right.
because we're getting a reasonable return,
Right.
we said, let's put a little extra in there, and that, because of the volatility in the market.
Right, and because,
If we had 0 cash, the market went down, and we had to pay out distributions.
off.
Right,
Right, yeah.
right, exactly right. So,
Let's not do that.
that's no good either. I like it. All
Yes,
right,
it
I
was.
appreciate it.
thank you all, that concludes my prepared remarks.
I am good.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Thank you all.
Okay, up next, guess it's no longer that one, Jones Walker and Pedro.
That's it. I already changed mine in the
That was a good transition. So, just a couple things. Legislative session obviously ended since we last met, although, as you guys have read, it's reconvened. There isn't anything expected in this special session that would, affect public pensions. I think really the only thing that they've been doing, or that they're going to look at, obviously you guys saw that they approved the redistricting map, and I believe that they're also going to be looking at this property tax issue. I haven't seen much on that front yet, but we'll see what happens. I think it's only about another week or so that they have left. So, but either way, we'll come back and report if anything does come up. But the expectation is that nothing really was going to come up now that would affect us. I did want to mention, and I wish that they would have been brought up with the police pension board meeting, but I was talking about it with Heather. About 2 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, it was revised at the federal level, obviously, to require public agencies to essentially be able to provide materials in a compliant format, right? So for those with disabilities to be able to access those records, right? So if it's a PDF, someone who maybe is visually impaired or can't really read it, there has to be certain things that are provided as part of those documents, right? So with respect to posting things on the city's website, materials that you all may have, right? If we have them as part of the tablets, since we're considered a public agency, obviously, we're required to comply with this as well. It's a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but less cumbersome for our plan because we don't have our own website. We don't have, we're not handing out materials. We're not sending out materials. So public records requests essentially go through our administrator, and anything that we post that we're required to post is essentially taken care of by the city, right, on their end when it's posted. But nonetheless, something that we've been advising our clients is just to obviously be aware of it, but if for example providers such as us, if we're providing things to the board, that we start providing them in an ADA compliant format, so that it makes it obviously kind of an easier transition once it gets to Troy, once it gets to the city, so that they don't have to convert it on their end, they don't have to spend time and money to do it, et cetera, et cetera. The law was required, agencies were required to comply by April 24th of 2026. So earlier, I guess was that Friday last week?
Something like that.
But that is for public agencies with greater than 50,000 population. For those with less than that, it's been extended to 27, so next year, April. So again, nothing for us to do right now, but just so that you're aware of it, and just so that potentially we can work with Troy. But I think it would be beneficial maybe to have a policy in place. I mean, lawyers love paper. To have a policy in place just so that first and foremost the board recognizes it, the board acknowledges it, and the board is at least attempting to comply with it. Unfortunately, lawyers have a bad enough name, but a few years ago, and I don't know if you saw it, maybe Heather saw it on the city side, there was one firm, maybe two, that were kind of going around the state, essentially suing cities, suing public agencies.
They're all about them.
They wouldn't even actually file a complaint. They just sent the same template letter, just changed the name at the title, and they were just looking for quick settlements, which they were getting. I guess in their defense, it worked, right? But we want to try and avoid that as much as possible. So that's kind of where we're coming from. So other than that, your financial disclosure forms, as you guys are obviously aware, for our newer trustee, you did it last year, so you're familiar with the new filing online through the ethics portal. It's a lot easier now. Once you log in, it should actually pre-populate from what you filed last year. So it's, unless your financial picture has changed kind of dramatically, you can pretty much just hit submit and you're done. It should be just a couple minutes. But if you need any help with anything, obviously just let me know or let Troy know. We're happy to help.
Is that July 1st?
July 1st.
It's due by July 1st, but any day after the new year, you can file it. Because essentially, you're always doing it in arrears, right? You're doing it for last year. Correct?
Okay.
So and I think it's still the 2024 form. I don't think it's actually 2025.
I don't know that there's any change.
I don't think they've updated the form,
Right.
but either way, whatever they give you when you log in, that's what you do. But yes, it's due July 1st. I shouldn't tell you this, but I will, obviously. Technically due July 1st. However, in practice, what's happened in the past is they will start, there is a daily penalty for when you're late, up to $2,500, so it's definitely not insignificant. But historically, the state will wait until September 1, and then kind of charge you the full rate. So, if you don't make July 1, we definitely want to make the end of August to avoid that penalty. But, just pretend like I didn't say that.
And before the
But
next
going
meeting,
forward, anytime after the new year, you can file it.
Okay.
before the next meeting, I will search the website, and if we get to July 30th and I come here, before I get here, somebody's gonna get an email saying, get this done. Just because we don't want it to go, after that next meeting, I'm gonna forget. You get me into August and I got other things to do.
We're missing 2 trustees or 1? Two.
So, yeah, Randy's the new trustee, and we're missing Jolene and Brandon. So, there's 2 firefighters also, so.
Yeah. Okay.
And I did mine.
Okay, perfect.
I did
So,
mine.
great. So, I usually search all of them as my meetings come along.
I did mine in the very easy on that portal.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's, initially it was a bit of a pain to kind of get everybody log in, the information, but it's, I think it's working, it's working well.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I had for my
And
report.
it's still a Form 1.
Still the Form 1. Actually, so I was gonna say, so the trustee who left, they need to file the 1F.
Mark did.
Mark.
Yeah.
He-
Wait, no, I'm sorry.
No, Mark was
Brian.
police.
Mark
Mark
was
was
police.
police, yeah.
Brian.
Brian.
Brian,
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
Brian, so did he do it?
I sent it to him. So,
Okay.
and he said he was gonna take care of Brian's, I mean, he was pretty good.
Financial analyst, yeah,
Yeah,
he's
pretty
pretty
Okay,
good.
yeah.
Pretty spot
He
on.
sent out
So-
a bunch of these.
So,
boards.
yeah, so everybody does the Form 1, but when you leave, it's the 1F, the one final. It's the
Right.
exact same form. It just has that F on the heading so that they know it's kind of the.
And if you
they're
can't
not
find a link,
expecting anything after.
you guys already did it, but if someone can't find the link, they can just ask me. I'll go on, search it, and send them the hyper, so all I gotta do is click on it. Not a problem.
Okay.
Yep,
Thank you, Pedro.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we're gonna just
It's
save
saved.
it.
It's saved.
All right, do we have any old business? Okay. Okay, next on the agenda, warrant ratification for warrant number 40 and number 41. Did everyone have a chance to look at those?
The summary of payments is on page 10 of 42 in the tablet. And it just goes right into the warrants, and then right after that's the fund activity.
Let's see what we got here, page 10. Page 10. Okay, so do I have a motion to approve warrants for ratification number 40 and number 41?
Actually, we do the whole consent agenda as one.
Oh.
So that's the summary,
warrant.
the warrants, and the fund activity.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the warrants, the fund activity, and the summary?
So moved.
Do I have a
Second.
Motion passes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I guess you're up, Troy.
All right, so just quickly, the update on the state annual report. So that's part of our fee. We produce that report and send that to the state, and it has been sent. Mid-August is when we usually get the number back that you're going to receive. And so the meeting following that mid-August, once we receive it, I will report that back to you.
Okay.
Okay? So I think if we're July, so that would probably be October. So that's when that would be reported. And then going straight down to educational opportunities, somehow there's the wrong name, the wrong trustee school got put on the top. The second one down, number 2, that's the one coming up, is the June 28th through July 1st in Orlando. That's the big conference, so that's the one that fills up the fastest. That's the one that I would prefer that you get with me, like it's just opened up this past week. So as soon as you know that you want to do it, I actually have a QR code that I'm going to pass around. If you didn't get sent that by the analysts, some of the analysts were sending them out, and there's a survey that we have to get filled out before we register you now. So if you'll fill out that survey, send that back to Steph, and then she will get you registered, send you confirmation, then you can book your hotel. And if you haven't done this before, Randy, we book your fees for the school, and then you pay for your own hotel, mileage, food, and then you get reimbursed. Yep. So, and Steph is going to take care of this. So the analyst takes care of everything that has to do with trustees school. We have, a few thousand trustees going.
Right. I can't make it.
It's,
Yeah, neither can I.
it's,
I'm out.
I'll be in Washington.
I'm being hungry.
other than that, that's all I have.
Okay, okay, so
Normally, I'm just hungry.
trustee report, discussion, and action. Anybody got anything?
No, so you'll send the summer training class, those dates out?
That's the summer one is June 28th through July 1st.
What's the next one?
The next one is September.
September.
Oh, yeah, but it's not even, this one just opened up.
Yeah.
But, before the next meeting, I will send you out the September one.
Yeah, because I'll need to go to that one.
Yep. Yeah, that's an actual trustee school. There's a winter trustee school, and then there's a
Winter, yeah.
spring, whatever.
And can you confirm for me, because I had a little snafu, I went into a level 9 panic the 15th of April. I have the July 16th and July 30th as New Smyrna pension boards. Did we move all those down to the 30th?
Yes.
Okay.
I called him the other day.
Okay.
And was like in a panic going, I can't make the meeting on
I was like, whoa,
Thursday.
when did this happen?
And he's like, what meeting? So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we changed
All
the
right.
dates.
Yeah,
I
you
remember
scared,
we were given more time for Scott to get his stuff together and
Yes.
all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
it was really tough getting that
Right.
so soon in the quarter.
Yeah.
So this gives them a chance to, you
Perfect.
know,
No
to
problem.
get you a better report, you know.
Okay, anybody got anything for us? I do have a question for you, Troy.
Sure,
So going through here, the fund activity report for retirees.
yep,
So I see on here Kevin Stack.
yep.
Is Kevin Stack now collecting a monthly benefit?
He should be, yeah, as far as I know.
Do we have any form of early retirement? Because he's younger than I am, so
Yeah, no, I believe he got the penalty.
he got the,
So
okay,
I played
that's what I was just
3%.
making sure. I just saw his name on here and
I
I was.
believe he took the 3%
There's
penalty.
there's early retirement.
Oh, there is early
Yeah,
retirement?
you can
3%,
retire.
3% per year?
3% penalty, yeah.
Exactly, 3% per year prior to normal retirement age.
Okay, I guess I just saw that and it kind of caught me by surprise. 'cause-
So he had the years,
Yes.
and so I guess he's at least age 50, right?
Oh, yeah. I think he's 50,
Well, he's got to be close to that, yes.
yeah.
Because I'm
Because
older
that's
than
when he
you.
contacted
Because
me.
I think your early retirement is 50 and 10, right?
Yeah, so he contacted me ahead of time and said, I'm getting ready to turn 50.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
we went through the calculation.
Like I said, it just kind of caught me by surprise when I
Yep.
saw his name on there. I thought we were 55 still, huh?
That hurts.
Yeah, really? Yeah, I thought he was still 55, so I
Well,
just
it's
wanted to make sure.
3% per year.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Yeah,
Okay,
So I mean, if he's
so thank you. 15%.
15%, that's a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a big haircut.
yeah, that's what I said. But like I said, I just saw it on here. I just wanted to make sure
Yep,
that that was
absolutely.
in my, after trying to find the gentleman the other day, so
well, everybody's situation.
that's all I had.
Okay.
Anybody got anything else?
I do not.
I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
next meeting will be on July 30th, 2026 at 4 o'clock. See y'all there.
Perfect.